David Rutz with David Allen Capital. Welcome to this evening's agent training. We're going to record this, and if all goes well, we're going to update the agent training that's right now being emailed to all new agents with what you're about to see. So congratulations for being a part of this. We'll take your questions at the end, and of course, we encourage you to stick around and ask any questions. If I don't cover something on this training, the questions will help. So let's get right after it. We're going to go through this pretty quick because it is recorded, but I don't want to miss anything. So we'll be thorough as well. What we're going to cover in this training real quick about DAC, about our funding, the eligibility, the pricing, the terms, how you go out and get clients, the process from pre-qualification to funding, renewals and refinancing, compensation for you, and agent support. So let's start going through all 7 of these. And I just want to applaud you for being here. It's so easy for people to get involved, say yes, and then not plug in and pay attention. And they go their own way and they stumble and fall. I was talking to Wade Cordell, our superstar expert today in underwriting and funding and senior loan officer. And in talking to him, that's because we're not in California. A senior funding officer will say, California, you cannot do loans and you cannot be a broker. So we do advances in California, and they operate much the same way, but they're not loans. You're not a broker, you're an agent, and you cannot get documents in California. So with that said, let's get moving forward. You just refer clients there and let us help take care of them. But you're here to get the information. That's what you came for. We're glad to have you, and I'm looking forward to covering these 7 topics. First of all, about David Allen Capital. Well, some highlights. For you, flexible opportunity, working when you want, where you want. You can be your own boss, which is pretty darn cool. Start part-time. Of course, some people start full-time. It's up to you. There's immediate full-time potential available. See, that's a big star because it is 100% commission. There's no guarantee of income whatsoever. You don't get paid to refer clients. You don't get paid when someone fills out a pre-qualification form. You only get paid when someone gets funded. So it's results-based. There's no investment required of you. As you know, you already joined our company. You simply connect business owners with our funding sources who want to give them capital. They get working capital between $10K and $1 million. You get paid between 4 and 6.5%. The compensation plan training will be a separate training. We do cover some of the highlights in this training, but you do want to watch the compensation plan details so that you understand all the details of our compensation plan. But you get between 4 and 6.5% of that funding. Can be quite lucrative. No experience is required, but you got to be hungry. You got to be willing to get after it, and you got to be willing to plug into training, pay attention, and move forward following that information. No guarantee of success, no guarantee of failure. But I tell you what, we've helped hundreds of business owners get millions of dollars in capital. There's no reason you can't do the same and earn significantly for doing it. Simple plan with DAC. You know, a business needs capital. You refer them to DAC. We find funds for them. The business benefits quick funds. You earn a commission. So who are we? We started in 2015 by myself, David Rutz. I started this company for 2 reasons. One, as a business owner, I was tired of hearing how you couldn't get capital from a bank. Big banks say no, they're slow, and they don't really care to help your business grow. That sounds like a song. They're slow, they say no, and they really don't care to help your business grow. I'm tagging that right there. That's first time I've ever said it. That's a new tagline, trademark right here. They're slow, they say no, and they don't want to help your business grow. Don't forget that. Say that over and over. Man, I love live training. Anyway, that's the first reason we started the company. The second reason was to give you a flexible business opportunity, financially rewarding. You can drive Uber, you can do other things, but this is a way you can make significant money without having to put in a ton of time. You got to be willing to get after it and connect business owners with funding sources, but that's it. Now, we were acquired in 2017 by a 20-year-old publicly traded company called Youngevity. I still run DAC. Youngevity retained me to launch their services division, and that means we have other services that you can market, but we're focused on DAC funding in this training. But you can learn about business phone systems, internet data, payment processing, virtual doctor visits, consumer services, and consumer products that Youngevity sells. You can learn about that separately. Let's focus on DAC funding. Okay, small business capital. Let's talk about our funding. Number one, the old way, slow bank, no bank, don't want to help your business grow bank. We come along and we say we don't like business owners missing out on opportunities or having to sacrifice through a pinch. They can always say no to our offers, but we at least want them to know we exist. So you simply inform them that we do exist. You introduce them to DAC. They learn about our business capital. I just talked to a client personally today, a construction company. They're looking for 20 grand. I told them we exist. They said they can't get capital from any other source. In fact, it was a mortgage person who referred me to them. They were trying to get a mortgage for their business, personal mortgage to help fund their business. That mortgage agent referred the person to me. I talked to that business owner. That business owner is filling out a pre-qualification as we speak, and they're going to try to get $20,000. They qualify for 20 probably because they're doing more than $20,000 per month in sales. Now he may say no to that loan offer if he's approved. I think he will be approved. He may say no, but I've already covered it in great deal with him, so he's probably going to say yes. He already knows the pricing, etc. But he can say no, can he? We did our job making sure he knew we existed. DAC funding team will do their job to get him offers. Now we have relationships with over 40 alternative lenders and advance companies, all the best from On-Deck Capital to Credibly to IOU to Strategic Funding to you can name a bunch of different providers. We represent them all. None of them are the best. There's sometimes one lender is going to charge a lot more than they usually do. One advance company is going to charge a lot more than they usually do. We let them compete because we have many different providers. You bring a client to us, they fill out one application, we get them the best deals. All right, it's really simple. Quick approvals and fast funding. We're better than the big, slow, no, don't want to help your business grow banks because our providers want to say yes. That's all they do is small business capital. They focus on small business. They value a company's cash flow over the credit score. Of course, they look at credit score, but cash flow is king. That means how much sales they're doing and depositing into their bank account. Simple and fast application and funding. Approval as fast as 1 day. Usually it takes 2 or 3 days if they have compromised credit and compromised company. But if they got real good credit and their company's strong, we usually give an approval in 1 day. But that's not everybody. In fact, many of our businesses don't get approval in 1 day because they're not in a strong situation. We can get them between $10,000 and $1 million. Our terms are short term, between 3 and 24 months. And check this out: no collateral required. These are not real estate loans. I was talking to a photographer today, and he said to me, "Yeah, I thought about getting a capital from you guys, but I decided, I'd get a home equity loan." Okay, well, what he's doing is he's putting his home up as collateral, meaning if he doesn't pay that loan, they take his home. That's what collateral is. If you buy a car, they put a lien on your car that if you don't pay that payment, they repossess your car. That's called collateral. These loans are all, and advances are all collateral free. Okay, the owner is personally signing for it, but they can't come in and repossess your home and take your car and all that. Okay, there's no collateral required. Simple, fast, no appraisals, none of that. Simple qualifications. Been in business at least 4 months. Anywhere in the continental US? No, we do not do anything in Canada, Australia, any other countries, just in the United States. You can be anywhere where DAC allows you to be an agent or Longevity allows you to be an agent, but your customers must be here in the United States. They must have a personal credit score of at least 500. They must have an annual revenue of 100,000 or more. You see down there, that's about $10,000 per month in sales. We have over 700 industries we serve. We pretty much serve all industries. There's a couple we don't, like attorneys. We don't serve them. We don't serve some insurance companies, but we do serve others. So even pawn shops and car dealerships, we used to have to say we don't serve them. We do now have some cases where we can do that. So we say if you have a customer, have them fill out the form and go forward. Worst case, we say, sorry, we can't approve you. Minimal NSFs, they can't have more than 3 NSFs in the last 30 days. Those are bounced checks. They can't have more than 3 in the last 30 days. Every bounced check they have makes them a higher risk. If they have 10 over the last 3 months, that's going to make them a high risk. Why? Because their bank balance has fallen below zero. So their average daily balance and no bounce checks helps a great deal. I was talking to that construction person today, and I went through all these questions. I asked them, how long you in business? What's your personal credit? Do you know? How much revenue you doing? Great. How much money are you looking for? Do you have any bounce checks? These are questions I ask. They're on the pre-qualification form, so I'm just going to find out when I talk to them. How much are you looking for? I'm looking for 20. Great. How much are you doing in sales? About 30. Great, because we generally approve for what you're doing in monthly sales. So these are some discussions, these qualifications. You need to memorize these so that when you're talking to someone and they say to you, well, do I have to have good credit? You know, you don't, as long as you have a 500. Well, how much sales do I have to be doing? Do I have to put up collateral? No, we just talked about that. Can I be a startup? No, you can't. You must be in business at least 4 months. Right? So my business is in Chile. Can I do it? My business is in Mexico. Can I do it? No, this is 50 states only, right? So know these qualifications. Required documents that the customer is going to need to submit. You don't have to get these, but just so you know what the process looks like, and we go through this again in the training in a few moments. A simple one-page paper application, 3 months of their checking account statements per account. If they're using more than one bank account to apply and say this generates my total revenue of 100,000, and maybe it's one account's got 60,000 being deposited, the other one's got 40, then we need bank statements for both accounts. Otherwise, we can only count one source of revenue, one bank account as revenues. If they take credit cards, we also need 3 months of the merchant processing statements. If they don't take credit cards, we don't need it. We need a copy of their driver's license. We need a copy of the voided check for each bank account that they're referencing, and their last year's filed business taxes. This is not always necessary. In some cases it is. So it's better to say they're going to need it than not, and then make them upset that you didn't tell them in advance. So when they get qualified, we tell them all this too, but just again, this is your education, so you know what the client's going to want. As far as pricing, we do not talk rates. I talked to someone today who said to me, I just decided, I looked at your program, I decided to go with credit cards because, you know, I looked at the pricing and it was going to cost me $30,000 for 100,000 or 30%. And my credit card is cheaper than 1.2 to 1.3 times the funding. And I said, that's great if you're going to pay your credit cards off in the next 6 or 7 months, because these loans will be paid off, or these advances will be paid off within a year. If you pay the minimal payment on your credit card, you're going to be paying on it for 12 to 15 years, and you're going to pay 400 to 600 times what you spent. Not 1.2 times, but 4.2 times. So if you have the discipline to pay it off with a credit card, you've already put it on a credit card, you go for it. Good for you. But if you don't, then you should get a capital advance from us and pay it off within 6 to 9 months. And yeah, it'll cost you a little bit of interest, but you don't have to worry about it costing you a lot of interest. Now, most cases, though, we're not doing that. Most cases, people are funding expansion or opportunities. Opportunity capital, working capital, folks. You're giving them an opportunity. You give a business owner 100 grand, they can turn it into 300,000 or 400,000 many times. They don't mind paying 1.2 to 1.3 times what they borrow. But I want to stop for a minute. Rates are confusing. You go look at your mortgage, you're paying 3.5% annually, APR, right? Oh, really? Is that right? Is that what your mortgage broker told you? Yeah, well, if you borrow 300,000 at 3%, you should only have to pay 9,000 in interest. Why is it you pay $290,000 in interest in 15 years? Why are you paying 100% times what you borrowed if your rate is only 3? Because they don't tell you your total payback. We do. We tell you your total cost of capital. You're going to pay back 128. Is it worth it to you? Or you're going to pay back 140, or you're going to pay back 118, or you're going to pay back 150. Is it worth it for you? They have to decide that if they're a higher risk, it's going to be even higher. So when we tell them their total payback costs, it's almost like this. David, can you loan me $5? I'll pay you $6 back. I don't care what the interest rate is. I know I'm getting $6 back, right? Lisa, can you loan me $100? I'll give you 125 back. I'm not figuring out my daily APR. It's costing me 25 bucks. Do I need the 100 bad enough, right? It's the same thing here. If the benefits outweigh the costs, they say yes. They don't have to worry about pulling out a financial spreadsheet calculator and understanding amortization schedules and all that other baloney that is meant to confuse people. It is not meant to clarify and simplify. It's meant to confuse. We don't. We show you a total cost. Our business owners love it. People say, what are your rates? Here's how you say it. We don't actually talk rates. We're going to tell you your total cost. We're going to tell you your total interest, what it's going to cost you for this, instead of rates, because that can be twisted and amortization schedules and compounded monthly, compounded daily, compounded annually. Who knows? So we just tell you your total payment. Your repayment is going to be 120. It's costing you 28,000 in interest. Do you need the 100 grand? Is there a benefit for it? Is the benefit worth 28,000? Then go for it. If not, then don't. It's really simple. Do you see how that works? There's no application fee at all. We give them an offer without them spending a dime. That does not exist out in the marketplace. Most banks out there and small business lenders and people working for the government selling government loans charge $900, $1,500 just to apply, because it's a lot of work and they know the answer is going to be no more often than not. Right? So they charge application fees because they got to make money for doing their work, because the bank says no, they're slow, and they don't want to help that business grow. We don't charge an application fee at all. They can say no to our offer. We haven't made a dime. We went to work for free. But we believe, because over 80% of the time they take the offer we get them, and over 80% of the time they're approved, that we're okay with no application fee. There may be origination fees charged by the provider. If so, it's deducted at the time of funding from the funding amount. Example, someone gets $100,000 in funding and they pay, let's say, $2,000 in origination fees. We don't get any of that. We don't determine that. They pay $2,000 in origination fees. What the funder would do is just wire them $98,000 instead of $100,000. They would keep the $2,000 in origination fees. So there's no money coming out of their pocket. It's just deducted from their advance. Pain-free monthly repayment. Okay, what is this? The biggest risk business owners have is falling behind on big monthly payments. What our business owner or business providers did is they made it easy. They deduct weekly or daily micro payments. Primarily it's daily. What that means is, instead of paying $6,000 a month, which that business owner can get stressed about, fall behind on, default, get into big trouble with, cash flows struggle sometimes when people spend money they shouldn't spend because they didn't allocate appropriately. So what our providers do is they take that monthly payment of $6,000 and they say, okay, there's about 20 banking days in a month. We're going to automatically deduct, not just an auto payment of $6,000. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to say every banking day, we're just going to take out 1/20th or $300 in this example. At the end of the month, they paid the $6 grand, but they didn't miss it. Why? Because they're probably doing about $3,000 a day in cash flow in sales. So they don't mind missing 300. We'll go through this again in a minute. Okay. So in addition to that, clients stay current and they can approve more deals and get more funding in the future. So it's called daily micro payments. Easy to understand offers. I've already told you that. You get 25 grand, you pay back 32.5, 9-month term, daily payment 180. Now keep in mind their cash flow, if they're paying 180, is probably about $2,000 a day. Generally what the banks do is they allow them to make 10% of their sales, about that. I mean, if they got real bad credit, a lot of NSFs, then they won't allow 10% of sales to be a payment. They'll say only 2 or 3%, and the payment will be lower, which means the approval amount's lower. But generally, about 10% of what they're doing in sales, they can afford daily to pay daily, and they don't even miss it. If you're doing $2,000 a day in new revenue, you don't really miss that 180 payment was taken out. Does that make sense? So their cash flow gets them approved. It also gets them paid off. So again, summary about our funds, why they make sense, bankable and unbankable clients. What does that mean? I was talking to a client today, got $250,000 from us. He only got one loan from us. It was about 1.5 years ago, and I just talked to him again today. Why did he get it from us? He had an inventory discount that he could take advantage of in his bank. Here he is, a big company doing about $5 million a month in sales. His bank said they needed 6 weeks to give him an answer on a $300,000 loan, $250,000, I should say. We got him a $250,000 loan in 17 hours. He bought the inventory discount. He saved a ton of money, over 100 grand. He didn't mind paying 40,000 in interest to us because he saved 100, right? You see how that works? He was bankable, but not the bank was not fastable. So he came to us and let us do it fast simple and fast. And he hasn't needed capital again from us, but he knows if he needs an inventory discount in the future, we are his company. We fuel entrepreneurs to grow more: restaurants, hair salons, nail salons, expansion. It doesn't matter. You think about an alternative that a business has for growing, and they usually have friends and family are their ways to get money, or credit cards, or home equity loans. That's it. You can't go to a bank and get a loan. You can go get 100 million from a bank. You can get 50 million. You can even get 5 million, but you can't get 50,000 or 100,000. It just doesn't exist. Anyone who says that is using a line of credit that they have their house as collateral. That's not a collateral-free loan. It's not a simple and fast advance. So they either go to friends and family and create an interest called personal stress and dynamics. That's an expense that you can't measure. Nobody wants to give a friend or family friend or family member money for a business and put it at risk. It creates a dynamic. And if you took that money, you can't go on vacation or do anything fun without feeling stressed. Business owners know this. Credit cards are ridiculous, and banks don't happen. So if you don't have equity in your home and you don't want to pay it off over 20 years at 200% of what you borrow, then we're your opportunity. We are it. And business owners take, employee mindset doesn't understand this. So if you've been an employee and never been a business owner, stop for a minute and say this: who are we talking to? We're talking to people who left their jobs to start a business. We're talking to people who do not have guaranteed income. They run a restaurant or a car wash or a pizzeria or a hair salon. And if clients aren't coming in, they're not getting paid, but they were okay with that. They went for it. They believe they could turn one location into 3 locations. They believe their pizza joint can become a Little Caesars conglomerate one day. They believe their car wash can be a $2 car wash in every city. That's what business owners believe. And if you give them 50 grand, they believe they can turn it into 300,000, and many times they can. So we fuel entrepreneurs to grow. And that is what my passion is. And I love that we've helped hundreds of businesses, several hundreds of businesses, get several tens of millions of dollars. I love it. Just in the last 2.5 years. And we're growing every single month. Help us help business owners. Time-sensitive opportunities, pinches. People are in a current pinch. Their business is shutting down if they don't pay rent. Their business is shutting down if they don't pay their taxes or payroll. They don't mind paying 30% of what they borrow back because they stay in business. You see that? If the benefit of the capital, the last bullet point is the most important. If and only if the benefit of the capital is greater than the cost of the capital, we are a great fit for our client. If the benefit of the capital is not greater than the cost, we're not a good fit, and they should say, no, I don't need the money that bad. You don't borrow $100,000 and put it in your safe for a rainy day. That's stupid, because you're going to pay $30,000 or $40,000 in interest for having it for a rainy day. If it rains, come and see us. We'll get you the money this week. You don't need to take it out and blow it. One of my first clients was a dry cleaner, and he was expanding, and he wanted to buy a second location. He was negotiating it. We approved him. He was approved for $70,000. He only needed $50,000 to buy it, and he said, "I'm going to take the $50,000, and that way I'm ready to close." I said, "You're already approved. You don't even know if he's taking your offer for $50,000. Why would you put the money in your bank? What if he says no to the offer? What if the deal falls through? You got to pay interest on that 50 grand. You don't even know if the deal's going to come through." So the benefit yet wasn't greater. It could have become a huge cost if that business owner didn't want to sell. And guess what happened? 2 days later, that dry cleaner, the one he was buying, said, "We decided we don't want to sell. We're going to give it to our son, so we're not selling." That business owner came back to me and thanked me so much that I talked him out of taking the money before he needed it. Now, he's referred me clients. He's never gotten capital from us. But David Allen Capital, in his mind, is straight A silver elite company. That would have been a big commission for me. It would have been a big commission for our company. And it would have been a huge expense for that dry cleaner because he wasn't ready to buy yet. Why take the money? Come get it when you need it. We'll get you. You've already been approved. We're already ready to fund you. Sign on the dotted line when you need the cash. Doesn't that make sense? So if you own a business, you see how we can help you. When you need it, we get it for you. And if you don't need it, we kind of slow roll it. Now, fortunately, more often than not, when a client comes to us and we do all the work, they're ready for the money. They need the money then and they're ready to go, usually. And we get them going right away. Okay, how do you get clients? Take that top line and embed that into your head. You just meet business owners, you greet business owners, and you inform business owners. Those are 3 activities that you want to get good at doing. And as you get good at it, today I went to a networking meeting and they gave me 30 seconds to share what I do. I met everybody, I greeted everybody, and I informed everybody in 30 seconds what I do. I've already got a client out of it today. Today. If I didn't go meet, greet, and inform, that would not have become a client today. I know that when I walk into a meeting of business owners, I know if I walk into a restaurant with a business owner, I know that if I walk into a coffee house and I see a business owner wearing a jacket that says Timmy's Tree Cutting, I know I'm providing him a solution. I'm not selling him a loan. I'm providing a solution if he needs capital. I know that. I meet, I greet, I inform. They can say no, but they're gonna know that we exist. That is an attitude you need to embrace. If you embrace it, you will make a 6-figure income in this company. If you don't embrace it, you won't. You are providing a solution. There's a gentleman, Matthew Duhane, he might even be watching, I don't know. He embraced this a couple weeks ago. Man, the dude is rocking right now. He's got another 155,000 funded this week, or 153,000 funded this week that he's making 5% plus of. You do the math. And by the way, it was a higher funded value, which you'll learn in a minute. Matthew, I haven't even told you that. It's even, you're going to get paid as if you did like 170,000. Boom, that's called a raise, even though they only got 150. When we get into the comp plan, I'll tell you about that. He believes he's providing a solution, and he's got a couple more already in the funnel. Many of you believe it, and that's why you do well. They're a business owner, and they can do great things with the capital. So know this going out. They can escape a pinch because of you. You are providing a solution, and they can also say no, but they need to know. That screen right there, take a picture of that, put that in your rear view mirror, put it in your, until you feel professional enough to live by this screen, you're not gonna make it happen. But once you do, you realize your attitude is, I'm just meeting, greeting, and informing. I'm not trying to get them to get a loan right now. I'm meeting, greeting, informing, and if they have an opportunity that they wanna pursue, or if they're in a pinch they need to relieve, they're gonna come see me. I'm providing them a solution, and if they don't, they won't. You're simply bird dogging and referring clients. That just means you inform business owners you know, okay? You inform every business owner. I'm getting more leads. My last 3 deals came from people who were referred to me by others, including today's. The person who called me today for capital was not someone in that meeting. It was someone who was a friend to someone in that meeting. The more you network, the more your net works. Man, that's another quote you got to throw out. I've never said that before either. Man, live, I love live. The more you network, the more your net works. Wow. Bam. I got to go back and watch that. Canvas as a customer. That means when you're out spending money, ask to meet the business owner. Oh, Dave, I don't want to bother a business owner. You're not bothering a business owner. You're bettering their information about what type of capital exists. You're not bothering, you're bettering. Attitude is everything, man. Networking and canvassing an area. I'm right now saying Southeast Michigan, every business owner in the cities in the Southeast area is going to know who David Allen Capital is. I'm on a mission to get to know everyone in my area. Now, it's a mission to get the whole country to know, but I'm taking personal responsibility to be the one to walk in every business, call every business, network with every business owner, get the word out to every business owner, spread news to every business owner. I'm making sure I'm canvassing little town by little town by little town, and I'm asking them to meet, greet, and inform others that we exist. Social networks. Yeah, you can go social with this too. You'll get clients periodically, but it's more for referrals. Advertising. You could advertise. We don't teach advertising. You're taking that on risk yourself. I don't necessarily do advertising. I may test a few things, but I won't teach something until I've tested it. I know it works. Basically, you're a prospector. You know, You go out in a river and you got you're looking for gold, and you pick up a bunch of sand at the bottom of the river and you shake it out in your little sifter, and you're looking for all the sand to fall through that screen. And at the end, you got a couple gold flakes, or you don't. What do you do if you don't? You dump it and you go in for another scoop, right? And you shake, 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 shake. You got any gold? No, dump it, shake again. And you keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And if you stick it out with some willpower, and you have a strong reason why to keep going, and you're doing something right, a system that works, at the end of the day, you're gonna have a couple gold flakes, right? Now, that's not real, actually. It's hard to find gold. But if you shift out your mindset and you get after sifting and prospecting in this business, the more business owners you talk to, not rudely, not as a pest, but as a passionate person who believes by meeting them, greeting them, informing them of the business capital that exists, that some of them will have opportunities they want to pursue and need you. Some of them will have pinches they need to relieve and need you. And it's your job just to make sure they know. They get to say no. And when you get out and do that over and over, it's not long, and all of a sudden you're getting 5 to 10 clients a month that you're making some good money on, significant money. After you meet, greet, and inform, you give these cards. Today I gave away these business cards on the far right. I didn't like doing that, but it was at a professional meeting where the postcards just didn't seem right. Next time maybe I'll do the postcards. Not sure yet. Usually I give the postcards out to business owners. Why? Because I tell them, everything I just shared with you, because I'll tell you what I say, is on the back of this card right here. And the card's been updated. This is an older card. It doesn't say loans anywhere on the new cards. It all says advances or capital. So that's an older version. But let me give you an example. You're a business owner. I come into you and I say, hi, is the business owner in? Lisa, yeah, I'm just picking up my carry out. But before I go, I'd love to meet the owner. Hi, Lisa, how are you? Hey, listen, I love your soup. I was in here last week. I wanted to meet you then, but you weren't here. So I just want to tell you, man, I love your soup. That's why I ordered it again. My kids love it as well. But more importantly, the reason I wanted to meet you is I'm also in my business, in business for myself. I'm with David Allen Capital. And what we do is we help business owners like you gain access to capital for expansion opportunities or growth opportunities, or heck, working capital if you're ever in a pinch. So I just wanted to meet you. I wanted to introduce myself. If ever you have an opportunity you want to pursue, Lisa, or if ever you've got a need, I just want you to know who I am, and I want you to know we've got sources that'll help you. In fact, Lisa, they look at your cash flow more than your credit score. Good credit's great, but if you don't have good credit, it's okay. They look at your cash flow, and it's simple and fast, and we get you approved quickly, no collateral required, real simple. So here's my card. Everything I just said to you is on the back of this card here. If now is not the right time, man, go put this in your file cabinet somewhere in case an opportunity ever presents itself that you want to jump on but don't have the money to. Put this card somewhere and know that I exist and I can help you, and give me a call. And by the way, if you know any other business owners who need capital or have opportunities and would love capital, send them my way. I'd be happy to take care of them. We love helping business owners. Now, everything I just said is on a script. And here it is going to come up in bullet point form. We've got a script in your Agent Resource Center that says exactly how to do all this. Okay? It's everything I just said. You can read it. I don't need to say it again. While you're reading, I'm going to take a sip of water. Then you give them that card and away they go. Now, all you do is get them to your website. I'm going to go through this process in a minute, but that's when the process starts from right there. So the process from pre-qualification to funding. When they go to your website, what they're doing is they're getting pre-qualified. They're going to fill out the pre-qualification form. And by the way, guys, I did this today with that client who called me. Said, hey, Joe Blow said he met you today. He's a mortgage agent, and he said you do business capital. I'm looking for a business loan. I'm in construction, and we talked. And I asked him some qualifying questions. I made sure we were the right fit for him, decided over a 5-minute call we were. And I said, listen, this is what you want to do. And he only lives about 20 miles from me. He knows exactly where our office is. He used to live in this town. And I said, this is what we do. We do everything online. I can meet with you locally if you need me to. But I think for your sake, you're a busy business person. Unless you need to see me personally, we can do all this online. All you got to do is go to the website. I'll send you a link. And when you get to the link, there's going to be a button that says Get Started. You fill that out. It's what we call our pre-qualification form. After you fill out that pre-qualification form, we're going to send you an email that you're pre-qualified or not. Based on what you've already told me, you're going to be pre-qualified. Okay, so we're going to send you a pre-qualification email, and then our team is going to take over. They're going to request some documents from you. I told them what the documents were. Okay, and I said, they're going to request them from you. He goes, good, I'll get started on having them for them. I said, great, it'll speed it up. And then they're going to request an application filled out and some documents. All you got to do is send them back. He goes, oh boy, I don't know. I'm in construction. I don't know how to scan documents. And I said, I understand. I get it. The application is real simple. You just save it and email it back. Your bank statements, your bank, do they have online banking? Yes, they do. Great. Just call them. Ask them how to download your bank statements. He goes, oh, that's right. I know how to download my bank statements. Good. I'll download them. I said, yeah, you'll download them. They'll be electronic file. You can email them. Take a copy of your take a copy of your driver's license. Do you have a copy machine? No, I don't. Okay. Do you have a smartphone? Yeah. Take a picture of your driver's license. And when you email everything in, just send in that picture of your driver's license. Don't take a picture of all your other docs, but your voided check and your driver's license, they'll accept a picture. All right, cool. I can get it all ready. Great. So I'm going to send you my link. And you go fill out that pre-qualification form when you get home from work tonight. Great. So I sent him the link. I text him to say I sent you the link. And now the link is to my website, davidallencapital.com/my ID number. That's what I emailed him. And I told him I'll text him when I send it in case he doesn't get it. He can call me or text me back. Okay. I also copied my buddy Wade Cordell in DAC about it and told him it's coming in, and I'm not going to handhold this client. I'm asking you and team to take over on it, so I can live by the same process everyone else does. The last 10 deals I've done, I've not done anything but get them to fill out my pre-qualification form, the same thing we teach you guys to do. That's it. And then of course I follow up with them. So then the DAC team is going to talk to my client or your clients. Let's talk about yours from now on. They're going to talk to your client. By the way, you're going to get an email as soon as they fill out that pre-qualification form. And while I'm talking, I'm checking my emails to see if he's got home from work yet and filled it out. Because as soon as he fills out that pre-qualification form at the link that I gave him, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to get an email, and I'm checking right now, and I don't have an email. So he's not filled it out yet. Okay, if I don't see it by tomorrow morning, I'm going to reach out to him and let him know that he didn't fill out the form and see if there's anything that I can help him with, right? See how that is? See how easy that is? Okay, so I'm going to get an email when he fills out the form saying, congratulations, you have a prospective client. Our team is now going to reach out to your client, and our team is going to take over and talk to your client, and they're going to let them know what documents they need. It's in the email, and they're going to request them. Here's where the biggest fall off is, right here, what you see on the screen. We call your team, we call your client and they don't answer. We call them again, they don't answer. We email them again, they don't reply. We email them again, they don't reply. They don't reply, they don't reply, they don't reply. Our team works on commission. Every single person calling your agent is working for free unless they help a client get funded. They'll still chase your client, but you also get status updates. In your status update, you're going to get one each day. If we're not hearing from your client, it's going to say, and I'm looking at 7 status updates right now in my inbox of my 7 clients that are in the open file right now. They're in the status, they're in the process. I get an email, you'll get an email as well, and it'll say, we've reached out to your client, left a voicemail. We reached out to your client, left a voicemail. We reached out to your client, left email number 1, email number 2, email number 3. Those are emails that basically say, hey, you've been non-responsive. Are you still interested or not? Still interested or not? After 30 days, the account goes into an aged file. At that point, your commission goes to half. Everyone's commission, the funded value goes to half because we've got to get our age team working on it, and they're going to do a lot of work, and we only fund about 1 out of every 100 deals once they go 30 days. So they don't make a whole lot of money, so we have to give them a higher percentage. And I didn't do my job if I didn't help that client get documents in 30 days, nor did you. So they become aged. And if we can win that deal eventually down the road, 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, my last funded client was a $250,000 client, was 3 months old. They wouldn't call me back. Fortunately, our team stayed on it and they got that person funded. I got a nice commission. It was only half, but I got more than I would have got because I'd given up on them. Right. So in your first 30 days, if you're seeing status codes that say no response, no response, no response, what do you think you should do? Get mad? Or pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, Bill, you said you wanted some capital. You haven't responded. Are you still open to it? You still interested or no? Nah, I decided I don't need it. Okay, great. I'll let the team know. Or yeah, I still want it. Great. You need to reply. Your pre-qualification is going to expire soon, man. I don't want you to have your pre-qualification expire. And that just means our team's going to stop trying to help them. Okay. We've got new deals coming in every day, dozens, and we're not going to chase someone who's a month old every hour like we are a brand new deal. It doesn't make any sense for anybody. You wouldn't do it, nor would you ask us to do it. So it does expire. Let them know you want to get their pre-qualification working and get the team working on it. Okay. So let's assume though they did reply and they filled out the application that was in their email and sent it back to us. Every field's got to be filled out. If they ever ask you, do I have to fill out all fields? Yes, you do. Minimal documentation, we already talked about that earlier in the training. They send that back as well. We then go get an offer from our clients. If it's declined, we tell them it's declined. If we don't give an offer in a couple days, we've not gotten an approval yet, guys. It's so funny. We'll have agents call and say, you said 1 day approval. No, we said as fast as 1 day. If you want an answer now, it's called decline because we haven't gotten an approval yet. If we already had an approval, you would have been told. The fact that you haven't been told and we've got the package means we're having a hard time getting an approval. Okay, so be on our side. Don't have a bad attitude. All right, you'll get a status that we've got the package and we've submitted it. And then if you don't hear from us for a couple of days, don't get mad at us. Thank us that we're still trying to get it approved somewhere. We're working harder and harder and harder if you're not hearing from us. The easy ones are when we go to our best lenders and they give us an approval within 10 minutes and we say, it's approved, here's the offer. It's awesome. It's awesome. But when we don't get that, we're working even harder and harder and harder. So be nice, be grateful. These people are on commissions. They're working for free, helping and hoping to help you get your client funded. And by the way, you make about 8 times what they do when the deal funds. Did you hear that? About 8 times. And they're the ones doing most of the heavy lifting. You did the job of finding the client. So we pay you very well. So you have an incentive to do it. But you're making about 8 times, I'm going to say it again, the person who helped do all the package, helped get it funded, etc. If your client likes the offer that we present to them over the phone or via email, then we're going to tell the business, the funder, yes, they do want to take the offer as you presented it. And then they're going to write up the loan documents or the advance documents. They're usually about 6 to 7 pages long. They're going to send those documents to your client. Your client's going to sign them and return them to us. At that point, we send them to our business capital provider, but funds aren't automatically wired when they sign that. Some providers, it's important that you hear this, some providers, after they get the documents back, do a last background check, or sometimes they want to talk to the current bank. If the documents are feeling a little odd, they'll call to verify the numbers on the documents match what's in the bank account. Sometimes there's what they call a landlord call. If they're feeling a little odd, they'll call the landlord just to verify the office really does exist where they say, or the restaurant. They'll check with the bank, the current bank balance. If they're worried about the bank, something doesn't feel right. So they reserve the right, even though the client's already signed the documents, until they've signed the documents and wired the fund, they reserve the right to do any last minute checking they want. Some providers do that more than others. And we usually know who they are, and we usually tell people in advance. Also, sometimes they'll say, we can give you an approval, but we're feeling a little odd about this. We'd love to see something. We'd love to see the taxes from last year. Something about the ownership doesn't seem right at the Secretary of State or your state administrative office, and we need more information about your proof of ownership. So there's sometimes they ask for things, just like when you buy a car. Usually you don't need anything but a paycheck and an application, right? But sometimes you go in there and something's not right, and they go, you know what, we're going to need an employer letter or something because we're not sure you work where you say you work. So they reserve the right to ask for other things, but the documents that we put as required documents, 95% of the time are all they need. All right, so let's move on. We're almost done. Your status updates. I already said once we begin contacting the client, you're going to get status changes. If you want a status update, you're waiting for something, you feel something's changed, you can email submissions@davidallencapital.com, but we ask you to please not do that constantly. We're going to email your status every day. If you're not hearing something and it's been a few days and you want to email a check, email submissions. Don't email support. Email submissions@davidallencapital.com. renewals.com. Renewals and refinancing. Yes, we do renewals and refinancing. It's simple. If a partner's paid off at least half, sometimes we can get them a renewal with that same lender or same advance company. If they started by owing 100, they only owe 50 now. Sometimes we can give them 100,000 in new money. They pay off the 50 they owe, and they get 50,000 in new money. You get paid on the net new cash, that new 50. You already paid on the first 100, so they're not going to pay you on money they're paying off that first deal with. All right, but if we get a refinances with a whole new provider, and they give them 100 grand to pay off an old note and require they pay off the old note, then you do get paid on it. So when possible, if it's in the best interest of the client, we'll try to get them in advance from somewhere else to get, only if the terms are better, because you earn more and they have better terms. And sometimes we can do that. Many times we can't. So it has to be a renewal. All right. But the clients are happy and you have repeat commissions. Let's talk compensation, and then we are done. There is a video called Compensation Plan Training, and you want to go to that to get the real training, the real detailed training, but I'm just going to give a couple overview highlights here. Number one, results-based, funded clients generate income, not efforts. I had a guy one time actually threatened to sue me because he talked to a bunch of businesses and didn't have any clients, and he wanted me to pay him hourly. So I put this bullet point on the slide because he said I wasn't clear that it was commission only. All right, I don't know where he got his contract idea, but we're very clear, and I'm saying it here, funded clients generate income, nothing else. Funded clients, nothing else from DAC. Efforts don't do it. You can earn zero. You should expect to earn zero if you don't produce results, okay? Expect to not lose weight if you don't produce results in the gym. Expect to not make money if you don't produce results with DAC. At the same time, there's no income ceiling. You can earn whatever you want to earn. When I say go, I'm doing this training for existing agents, so I'm not enticing anyone to join. You're already in. There's no reason you can't make 6 figures a year on your personal funded deals. There's no reason. Okay, except you need to gain the experience. But you do what you're learning in this training, you'll make it happen. 4 types of pay. Personal client income, which you get paid. All the top 3 are paid from DAC directly. In ACH, it means a direct deposit. 1 week after funding. Sometimes it's less than a week, but we're saying 1 week after funding because any deals that come in and fund by Wednesday, close of business, you get paid that Friday. So you get paid in 2 days if it funds on Wednesday. But if it funds on a Thursday, it's not paid till the following Friday. You actually pay it out on Thursday. You get it in your bank on Friday. So it's paid a week after funding is what we say, but sometimes it's less than a week. You got it? If it funds before Wednesday close of business, you get it that day. So we had some deals that funded today. We have a lot of deals that are going to fund tomorrow. Those people will be paid this Friday. It won't be a week. It'll be literally 2 days. So we, of course, our team is pushing hard to get any in that could get funded by Wednesday. We've already got all the documents signed. We've already submitted to the providers. We're saying fund it, right? We want to get them funded by Wednesday so you guys get your commissions. We're paid the same way either way, but you guys, for your pay cycle, we like to get things in by Wednesday for your sake. All right? If it goes in Thursday, then you just wait 8 days. That's not a long delay, right? So the top 3 are incomes that you earn through direct deposit from DAC. The bottom one, parent company residual income, that is longevity. Our parent company, they pay you the 15th of the following month. So any August deals, you'll get paid September 15th. Any September deals, October 15th, etc. December deals, January 15th. If you're qualified in longevity, and that's only on your teams. You don't get paid on your own capital deals from longevity. We pay you. DAC pays you. Longevity pays you some overrides and perks you can earn. So learn about those in the comp plan details. But personal client income, enrolled agent income, and team depth overrides. I'm going to go through those 4 real quick, and we'll be done. 4 to 6.5%, we said you earn of the funded value. Funded value is usually 100% of whatever they got funded. So if they get funded 100,000, usually that's the funded value. You get 4 to 6%. There are times where we've had to reduce the funded value to make the deal happen. The provider said we can't pay you full commission. They want A, B, C, D, E, F. We got to say no unless you're willing to take less commission. DAC and agents of DAC, we've got to say declined on this deal. We can't come to terms with the customer. But if you're willing to take 80% commission or 50% commission, then we can land this deal. Are you open to it? And when we go to you and we say, are you willing to take less commission? Otherwise, the answer's got to be declined. And you say, of course, I'll take something rather than nothing. We've never had someone say no. We've had some people balk at it and say, try harder. And we do that already before we bring it to your attention. But funded value is, I think we've only done like 10 deals of our several hundred that the funded value has been less than 100%. Okay. So it's very rare. And it's really one client. Most of his deals have been that way because he's got a unique situation. But other than that, usually it's full funded value. 100,000, you get paid on 100,000. You heard me talking to training earlier about Matthew Duhame's deal. Matthew did $150,000, had a $150,000 client last week. Guess what? The funded value on that one isn't 150. It's higher. There are times when a bank will pay us a little extra bonus, and so we don't keep it. We pass it through. Is that cool or what? So Matthew, you got extra on this one coming up. Is that cool? I know it's cool. And you'll get your commission statement tomorrow at the close of business, and you'll see what it is. But I want to say you're getting paid on like 170,000 or 160,000 instead of 150. Pretty cool, eh? I love it. Yeah, you'll know the details tomorrow. The math adds up. 50,000 in funded value, the minimum pays well. If you just focus on, I know Matthew's goal is to get to 250,000 in monthly funding. It's my goal too. I did it this month, and we're still a month left. That's my personal goal every month. I'm shooting for it in January as well, and I'm trying to do 250,000 every month. I haven't done that every month, but that's my goal. Why? That pays well, doesn't it? And it's helping a lot of business owners. So you can set a goal of 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 90,000. You determine your goal. Okay, it's up to you. You paid the Friday after funding again, if it funds by Wednesday. Comp plan training will show you how to get from 4 to 6.5%. Personally enrolled agent income. That means you can enroll other agents. You get paid. You can get paid 0.5%. You have to be active. Your first 6 months, you're considered active. So anyone you enroll during your first 6 months, you get 0.5% on minimum, all their funded value. All right, Lisa on the end there helps someone get an $80,000 funding. She's making 4%. Lisa's happy. She made $3,200. The business owner's happiest. They have $80,000 to go grow with, and you made 0.5%. If you're qualified for it, you made $400 minimum. You can make up to 3%, $2,400. Again, I said during your comp plan training, we go through this in more detail, but the bottom line is during your first 6 months, you automatically make that 0.5%. After that, you must at least have one funded client every 6 months. Okay, so if you don't fund any clients in your first 6 months, you stop getting this agent enroller pay. Know that. Go get some clients, follow the training, and make it happen. How do you get up to 3%? Have more personal clients. The more personal clients you have, the more you earn on anyone you personally enrolled. You're not limited by territory. You can enroll as many agents as you like. Team debt override, guess what? Your team can recruit other agents themselves rather than making 0.5 to 3.5% as they go out and introduce other agents. And we talk about this every week, so I'm going to go through this pretty quick. You can earn up to 0.5 to 2.5% on them. You have to qualify for it, but as your team funding grows, and again, go to the comp plan details to see this, if you're qualified for the minimum 0.5%, that pays pretty well. There's no maximum. We don't say, oh, wait a minute, you're doing 20 million in funding. We're only going to pay you on 2 of it. We don't do that. We don't guarantee pay, and we don't cap it. Pretty cool. Each agent has an incentive to get clients because they earn more. So if I'm in your team, I have an incentive to get more clients. I earn more on each client, but I also position myself to earn more on all my future clients, right? Each agent has incentive to build a team. Why? Because they get paid on it and they feel good helping business owners and helping other team members. It's called multiplication of efforts. This grows your team too. You can coach as many agents as you want. If none of them do well, you don't make anything. If they do well, you make a lot. So follow the training to learn how to maximize your pay and also how to support your team. Our parent company, longevity upon qualification, will give you residual income up to 12 months on all your team's fundings. Anyone you personally enroll and their team, but you have to qualify for it. You can get a car allowance, revenue sharing, trips and incentives. Our revenue sharing is pretty rich. They're already doing almost 200 million a year in sales. Revenue sharing 6 figures alone if you qualify for it, 6 figures a year alone. So go get qualified for revenue sharing. You can learn about that in the longevity plan, but none of this happens just by signing up. You don't become a triathlon Iron Man or Iron Woman by saying you want to get in shape. You get there by training your butt off, getting confidence, getting experience, and overcoming hurdles. Well, guess what? You don't get the revenue sharing by wanting it. You get revenue sharing by wanting it bad, having desire, getting after it, overcoming hurdles, getting confidence, and sticking it out till you earn it. People have, and they get paid very well for earning it. All right? You can learn about the longevity pay plan in future trainings. Last section, agent support. Follow our simple system. What we just talked about, every one of you can do. You may have to watch it over and over again to get the feeling and the attitude, but hopefully you get, we're just meeting, greeting, informing business owners. And if you refer other agents, that's all they got to do. Most aren't going to do it though. Hopefully you know most aren't going to do it. Team leadership is all about being realistic and understanding human nature is human nature. We don't charge them an investment. We're not trying to make money off people who say yes and then decide to quit. We're not a health club. We're not a company that's making money on someone's investment. We're not trying to pay you to go get a bunch of people to invest $100 or $200 or $500 to get started with us. That's not who we are. We're free to join. You don't get paid for recruiting me unless you can help me help a client. And then you get paid significantly, right? So build a team if you want to build a team. Understand it's very rewarding. You can make a significant amount of money by doing it. Many are not going to, but that's okay. If you have 40 active agents doing one deal a month, that's 40 deals a month in your whole team at $50,000 a deal average. That's $2 million in funding. Even if you're at the 0.5% level, you're making 10 grand a month. You don't need 4,000 agents. You don't need 40,000 agents. You don't need 400,000 agents. You got 40 active agents qualifying with, not qualifying, but having one funded deal a month. You're doing pretty darn good. Plus your own clients, yeah. So be a leader, stick it out, stick it through, learn how. This is one of the easiest ways to make significant money. Agent Resource Center, the footer of your davidallencapital.com site, go there and click on Agent Resources. If you need agent support, email support@davidallencapital.com. Start with the person who enrolled you though. Use people who are working with you who get paid a lot of money to help you win. Our agent support department doesn't make a dime when you move a client or help a client. The person who enrolled you does. We pay them a lot to support you. So reach out to them first, but if you have a question you can't get, email support@davidallencapital. We like to keep a lean ship so we can pay more out. If you need status updates on packages, again, submissions@davidallencapital.com, but you will be getting them from that email anyway. Check your spam folder. You will get emails from us weekly as well. Read it, plug in. We have incentives announced there, launches, new videos. Everything goes in the weekly email. Check your weekly email. You're going to get it each week. It's from DAC, support@davidallencapital. Read it. It's all good stuff. And then join our Facebook group page. We do live Facebook trainings. We're constantly putting stuff up there. And it's a great place for you to go to ask questions and have resources there. It's facebook.com/group/DAC agents. It's that simple. With that, folks, here's a summary of this training. We talked about DAC. It's a great opportunity for you. About our funding, man, we fuel business owners' growth. We are their fuel. How we get clients? We simply refer. We meet, greet, and inform. That's it. The process from pre-qualification to funding is simple. It's all online. You just get it started and help keep it going if the client's not responsive. Renewals and refinancing, we talk to them on our own, but you can keep a clock too. If you know they got a 7-month term, man, call them after 3.5, contact us and say, hey, they might be eligible for renewal, right? We do it anyway on your behalf. There's nothing wrong with you helping. You may know them well. Compensation, again, lucrative and multiplication of efforts. Agent support, it's simple and ready to help. With that, I thank you for being here. I thank you for attending. I know it's long, but we covered a lot of information in those 58 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to questions now, but